Hello everyone, my name is Dylan, aka Alpha of the Alpha and Omega YouTube channel, and guest starring is my cat Jacob. Likes to lay on my lap a lot. And it's going to be another game review for you guys. I'm a big fan of stealth games. I really do like them. It's one of my favorite genres when it comes to video gaming in general. I've played a few of them. I went through a lot of franchises, like Metal Gear. I've played Assassin's Creed. I went through the Sly Cooper series, except for Thieves of Time, and I played Dishonored. So I've had a lot of fun with stealth games in general. So we're still on the PS4 era. We're still going on that next gen hype and all that. And one of the games that I want to review for the PS4 is the Reboot Thief. This is a reboot for the Thief series. Now, before I start, I want to tell you a little bit about the Thief series in general, what they are and what they represent. A long time ago, in the early '90s, there began a project creating this new type of gameplay style, which is first-person 3D stealth. And this was being developed by Looking Glass Studios. These guys, they kind of had a little mini project going on, something about an inverted Arthurian tale, like Mordred's being this understood hero, King Arthur's like this evil tyrant, but eventually, when the project was thrown around, it eventually turned into this new type of stealth game, which is first-person 3D stealth. It's the first game of the Thief series is called Thief: The Dark Project, and it's very popular. I mean, I can't go whenever I want to look at a stealth game. I can't go a few sentences without hearing something about Thief. Um, it has you play as a master thief, obviously, called Garrett, and I don't know exactly what the whole plot is. I personally never had any history with the Thief series, but all I know is that you're a master thief, and you're making some major heists and all that stuff. But anyway, the Thief series is recognized for being, well, Thief: The Dark Project is recognized for being the first 3D first person stealth game, and it was a big hit. I mean, it got a lot of nice reviews. It got a lot of fame. A lot of people loved it to death. I never personally played it, so I can't tell you my opinions on it. But I do recognize its prosperity. I recognize how uh, well acclaimed this game is. Anyway, onwards, it went on to make a few sequels, which is stuff like Thief 2: The Metal Age, I believe, and Thief Deadly Shadows, which is the third game. But Deadly Shadows was not developed by Looking Glass Studios. It was developed by a new company called Ion Storm, which I don't really know much about. I don't really do that much research into that. But for a while, Thief has sort of faded into obscurity. Um, a lot of Thief-like games, like Dishonor, as I mentioned, or Deus Ex. Well, that's another game I've played too. I've played Deus Ex: Human Revolution, which was a fun game. Until recently, when Square Enix, the developer of Deus Ex: Human Revolution, announced a reboot to the Thief series, and it was made for the PS4. But there are other platforms for this game, like the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the PC. Now, I I didn't actually. I was thinking about getting this game, but this became like a sort of birthday present for my brother. He played it a little bit. He was alright with it, but he never really finished it, so I decided to go ahead and take the helm and play it a little bit. So, I'm basically going to tell you my opinion on the Thief game. As you know, if I haven't stated it already before, I have a different rating system than what most people have. I don't have a point system, I don't have a star system, I don't have anything like that. I have a recommendation system. I'm going to say I recommend it. I think you should give it a try, or I'm not going to recommend it at all. Just stay away from it. Anyway, now let's go on with the story. It takes place in a alternate reality dystopian world. It's got this sort of Victorian vibe going on about it, and the city isn't doesn't have a glamorous name. It's just called the city, and the people there are affected by the gloom, which I don't exactly know what that is. They never really explain it in the game, but it does give me Dishonored flashbacks. I mean, Dishonored is a Victorian style game that is set in an alternate reality, and it deals with the rat plague, which is essentially the black plague. You do see effects of it firsthand. You don't. I don't really see effects of the gloom firsthand in the game, but again, yeah. So you start out as Garrett, who is this master thief, um, and you're about to make this big heist and all that. You are a team. You're paired up with this apprentice thief, whose name is Erin, and she's kind of a well, when it comes to being a thief in Thief, there are a lot of codes that you got to abide by, such as not killing people. Erin, she doesn't really give a crap about that. She doesn't focus on studying those codes in hand. She will do whatever it takes to get the job done, which Garrett lectures her on. She doesn't. She tells her not to be a murderer and stuff like that, but she doesn't really give a shit. Anyway, Erin and Garrett are working together. I think they're trying to steal something. Yeah, they're trying to steal an item from the Northcrest Manor, and but along the way, they encounter this sort of ritual going on about with this stone in the center that's glowing and it's all magical and stuff. And they got these guys in white robes, and Garrett makes a remark on it that's saying that guys in white robes are never a good sign. But eventually, they Aaron and Garrett get into a little altercation about how she's got this like claw weapon that is pretty lethal, and Aaron uses it for lethal purposes, and Garrett doesn't want her to fall into that sort of mindset where you know it's okay to kill people. It's not, but you know what I mean. So they get into a little fight, but eventually Aaron starts to fall through the window roof thing, and but Garrett manages to catch her. Um, but yeah, Aaron loses her grip and she falls right onto this stone. Garrett's not sure exactly what's going on. He tries to save her, but he can't really quite get to her in time. So, and Aaron just disappears, and he himself is affected by the stone, which is called the Primal Stone. It gives him different powers and all that. So a year has passed, and Garrett's mourning over the death of Aaron. I say that because later on you do see her; she's transformed into something wicked. But he's looking for some answers as to what that primal stone is, what it means for the city, what the Baron himself is. Well, not the Baron. Just seeing who are the interested parties in taking this. Who are the Grievers? I believe it's. I've recently beat the game and I never really touched it after that. So I'm sorry if it's taking me a long time to remember. So again, just please bear with me. I've only finished it once. um, yeah, the Grievers and the city government, which is also interested in the Primal Stone. The Primal Stone itself is a sort of natural oddity, if that's the word I want to use. um, it's magical and it connects itself to the city. It's like part of the city's life force or whatever. Again, I'm not really sure how exactly this works, but that's essentially what's going on. So basically, as Garrett, your mission as the Master Thief is to the Primal Stone itself has been separated into fragments, and you, as Garrett, has to steal back these fragments and make things right for the city because they got some plans. These Grievers, they have some plans to transform the city into monsters or whatever to understand the primal stone and use it for themselves. They're led by a group. They're led by a guy named Orion, or is it? Well, Orion is one of his names. I know he's got another one, but I don't. I don't remember. Anyway, that's essentially what the game boils down to. Garrett himself, I think he's. At first, I thought it was kind of a cool guy. I mean, he's got a couple of funny things to say. But I've noticed that later on down the game, he doesn't. The voice actor of Garrett doesn't really put a lot of emotion into it. Like, there's this one part in Thief where you have to uh, search this asylum, and you get these visions of ghosts. You see monsters. It really freaked me out. I mean, it was such a big whiplash moment that I never would have expected from the game. Because mostly what you've been doing is that you've been taking things from other people, and then all of a sudden you have to go to this asylum, and I'm just like, what is going on? I was just like, oh man, I really wanted to turn off the game at that point because I was freaking out. Oh my god. But yeah, more into that and later. That's part of the gameplay segment. But anyway, as I've said, when he goes into this asylum, he's not really reacting the way I kind of want him to. He's like, "Oh, what have they done to you, Aaron?" Or something like, "Oh, this place gives me the creeps." I'm like, he's not sounding like he's creeped out, you know? He's just kind of really chill about it. I'm really surprised. As what kind of stuff has he seen, you know? He meets a couple of guys along the way. Like one of his client, one of the guys who gives him a job. I don't know his name. But he gives you. He's kind of a cool guy, I guess. He hangs out with this bird, and he gives you these jobs and all that. He gives you nice money, really. It's really tight. Um, and then there's the Thief Taker General. I know him, at least. He doesn't. I don't think he really has a name. They never mention his name, but I always call him the Thief Taker General. And he's like, you're a generic asshole. He's going to make things right for the city. He's going to give the citizens discipline. It's crap like that. Erin herself, I really wish they would have done her better, because being this, she's like this vengeful ghost. She wants to get back at Garrett for not helping her, for betraying her and stuff like that. And she's a I really wish it would have done her better, because she seems like a tragic character. Like, she's imbued with all this power, but it doesn't really sound like. Again, it's all about the voice work in this game. It doesn't really sound like that she's tormented, or well, sometimes she does, but other times it's just like she's more pissed off at you, and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, the story of the game, it's really kind of confusing for me, at least. I don't know if you're going to, if any of you guys have played the game, and if any of you guys had fun with it. That's great. I'm glad you did. But for me, I just thought the story was just confusing. I mean, it was about getting back this primal stone and solving things with Aaron and saving the city, and I'm just not sure how all of that really connects. Like, maybe Aaron is the essence of the primal stone, that maybe that's what the primal stone has taken up as its form, or maybe uh, yeah, it's just really confusing. Anyway, on to the gameplay aspects of the game. As I said, the Thief series has been recognized as a top tier stealth class series. It belongs in that, it's up there with Metal Gear and Deus Ex. It's a fantastic series, which I've never played. So me playing Thief and understanding a group like Square Enix, who has published Deus Ex Human Revolution, which I liked, I thought I decided to give this game a shot and see if this was the game that you know the same sort of game that most Thief veterans played. I'm kind of disappointed that it's not. um, for starters, I mean, it's got a really solid stealth system. I mean, I do like that you can use the shadows to hide yourself in plain view. And I do like that, you can sneak around different people, that you can take multiple paths and all that stuff in different segments of the game whenever you're doing a mission. Um, the swoop mechanic, which is a really fantastic mechanic, by the way. I think is really awesome. You can just slide silently. You can just glide across the ground, and no one would hear you, and no one will even see you, except for the birds or animals, which will notice. But I think it's a really cool mechanic. Garrett comes equipped with a bow and arrow, well, a bow and a assortment of trick arrows. These trick arrows give him like different sort of abilities. Like he can use one sort of arrow where he puts out fire, so that way he can hide in the shadows much more easier. Or he does another sort of arrow where he lights things on fire, or he can blow things up. He can use blunt arrows to affect switches from a far off distance, which is also pretty good as well. But he also has your typical broadhead arrows where you can use them to kill people. Is I tried not to kill people throughout the game just to feel like that I am a thief. I am not an assassin. But eventually, I just got to a point of the game where I just said, you know what, I just don't care anymore. I it's like it's like I gotta get through these guys, or I'm not getting through them at all. I want to remain undetected for most of the game, and it just didn't work out. I really wish that you had a lot more options to your trick arrows. I mean, you have the gas arrow, but even then, that's not really a good option because all it does is just make people cough and hack up, vomit or whatever. It doesn't really knock them out. It's just more like a distraction. It's kind of like a flash bomb. You just throw it and it disorients enemies for a short time. It doesn't really knock them out. I wish we had more options like that. I know that sounds like I'm taking a page from Dishonored, where Corvo, he uses sleep darts. But again, if I wanted to go through a non-lethal playthrough of the game, I should have just had more options to doing a non-lethal playthrough of the game. So yeah, I mean, you can totally kill people with broadheads, or you can kill people with the blast arrows and all that stuff. They don't give you a penalty for that or anything. Well, they do judge your performance of each mission, and it doesn't really affect anything. It's just like you're a predator or you're a ghost. Congratulations, you earned this. Or you're an opportunist. Congratulations, you earned this. And you get a set amount of gold for every time you do it. There are additional challenges that you can play that you can participate in, where you have to knock out a set amount of people or you have to steal a set amount of stuff. Which, I mean, by the way, since we're on that subject, I mean, when it comes to Garrett being a thief, it's just there are a lot of items that you can find in the game that are obviously priceless, It's just like stuff that you can go ahead and sell to the next fencer or whatever. Someone that you can, so that you can make some big cash off them. No, Garrett just keeps that stuff. I'm like, dude, all you do as a master thief is steal stuff. Don't you think you should get some money on the side for that? I mean, sure, you got the client jobs, but when you find an item like this big, glowing, glittering jewel of an item, you don't just keep it in your display case just so you can look at it and be like, oh, I'm so happy I got that. No, you go ahead and sell that shit, man. You just sell it to the next buyer or whatever so that you can get some more nice shit. But anyway, that's just me when it comes to the collectibles of the game. I mean, they don't really add to your I don't think they add to your mission score or whatever. They're just there. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Um, Also equipped with Garrett is a blackjack, which, like I said, it's a non-lethal option. You can go ahead and use it to take down people, knock them out, and drag them off into a corner so they can go ahead and sleep. But again, that's like one out of like few non-lethal options that you can take in the Thief game. I mean, like I said, I really wish they had more to it. Garrett's got trick arrows. I mean, we couldn't make the gas arrow a knockout gas arrow. That would have been cool. That would have been great. That would have been much more easier for me. But no, I had to rely on the blackjack and my stealthing through the game, which I never really had a problem with the stealth mechanics of the game. I thought it was really fun being able to stealth through it, but I wish we had a lot more options. Um, Also with Garrus, as I said, he is affected by the Primal Stone. So with that, Garrett gets access to different powers, such as focus mode. Now, focus mode enables him to see different objects that he can interact with, um, which is, again, that's also kind of weird, but you know, he can it lets you see different things that he can interact with. Like he can go ahead and put out candles, or he can go ahead and open this door. But upgrades to focus mode give you different things, like maybe you can pick locks faster, or you can hide in plain sight for a short amount of time when you're in a light source or whatever, or you can. And now I really do find this kind of weird, but as a game that's that demands that you, well, as a series that demands you to be stealthy. I mean, sure, they give you a lot of options, like they do give you lethal options. Like you can use it in the series, you can use a dagger or whatever, or you can use a sword, and that's fine. But you got to pay the penalty for that, for being a lethal, for being a murderer. When it comes to this reboot, however, it's sort of like you can have a combat build in this game, and you don't have to suffer for it. I mean, sure, you have to keep yourself stocked up on poppies, which increase your focus, which helps you refill your focus mode. Um, and there's also a health bar there that you can use to fill up as well when it comes to finding health items. But like I said, for a stealth game that has you devote yourself entirely to stealth, you can have a combat build in this game, and I find that really jarring that Square Enix would decide to put in something like that, that you can battle people with your blackjack. I'm like, but wait, I'm a thief. This is Thief, right? This isn't Dishonored, where you can. I mean, you can go ahead and take a lethal path in Dishonored, but again, that's more work for you to do. And you can go ahead and do a combat path if you want. Again, Dishonored is all about playing it however you want. A Thief, I thought, was devoting yourself entirely to stealth altogether, taking the non-lethal path. And I just find that really jarring. I just find that really weird that you can have a combat path in the reboot. Um, it may it probably does seem like a bad thing, and I'm probably making it sound like a bad thing. But again, that's just really my opinion. You can just, but yeah, like I said, you can upgrade the focus mode to, God, getting yourself a combat build, or you can just go ahead and devote yourself to stealth, or and, stuff like that. And you can upgrade your bow and arrow too, which, like I said, which has you do more damage. Again, do you want me to be more stealthy, or do you want me to just go ahead and barrel through this thing? I'm just really confused. The blackjack, you can get more damage with it, or the your leather suit, you can protect yourself from damage from like stuff like that, which is nice, I guess. And you can protect yourself from fall damage as well. There are also different items in the game that let you that gives you different perks. Like one item increases your focus meter bar by a bit, or one item increases your health bar by a bit. I never really experimented with these items enough, just because I never really had the cash. Most of it was I spent on stocking myself on trick arrows and upgrading my focus mode, so I can be a pure stealth build, which I thought was the basis of the game. But I guess not. um, yeah, I mean, when it comes, oh, there's one thing that I really don't like about this game. It just frustrates me to the point of no return. I understand that the game has itself has a hub world, and the problem is, if you want to make a hub world, make it easy to navigate. I mean, as a thief, I should be able to do like all these acrobatic things, right? I should be able to climb that pipe or shimmy along that ledge. No, I have to interact with certain things in the game, so that in order for me to, progress through the hub world. And that just annoys me, where you have to, like, if you're wanting to do a side mission or whatever, you have to take a certain path to get up to that room, just to get to that side mission, and that just annoys me to no end. Um, But yeah, like I said, with the L2 button, you can go ahead and run across rooftops, but you can't. There is no jump button. There really isn't. I thought it was going to be something like Assassin's Creed, where you're able to leap yourself off of an edge and you're able to grab another edge. No, the moment you start running across a rooftop, and apparently if the gap's not far enough, you're gonna drop like a rock. Yeah, you really are, and you're gonna take a lot of help. You're gonna take a lot of damage, and it's just. I mean, anyway. As I said, since it's a PS4 title, it's going to utilize the touchpad at any point. When it comes to the touchpad, it's all about using your inventory slots to access different things, like switching from one arrow to the next, or being able to chow down on your health items, or eat a poppy or whatever. I thought it was really confusing at first, but eventually I managed to get it down pretty tight. But let's see what else. Oh, graphically, it's great. It looks really good as a graphical game, and sound design and music. I really do like the music of the game. I really do like how tense it gets whenever mm, you're not spotted, but people are suspicious of your presence there, and they have you look around. I really do like. I like the music pieces of the game, which is yeah, that's pretty cool. There are other collectibles that you can find in the game, like documents, which get puts you into the lore of the game more. The lore of the game really has these subtle nods and references to the game, to previous games, like the previous Thief games, which I do kind of like. If I was a Thief fan, I'd be more appreciative of that. I'm not, but I'm glad they did that for Thief fans anyway. You know. But yeah, as the main mission levels, I think they're really fun. If, like I said, they can be a little bit annoying. You don't really have a well, you do. You are open to a lot of choices, more choices in the main missions than you are in the hub world, which is really weird for me. But yeah, they are a lot of fun. I really wish we had more of them, to be honest. Like maybe we could have a side mission like that, where we could have had side missions like that or whatever. And I bought this is a special limited edition of the game right here, and it comes with free DLC, which is the Bank Heist DLC. And like I said, it's just a thieving level. There's no basic story behind it. They don't really give you much to it or whatever. What really bothered me about the Bank Heist DLC is the fact that you had cameras. That's weird. You had cameras in a Victorian style. Granted, it's steampunk. Okay, but how do they work? Is there like a central security room system I'm missing? It just looks. Oh man, I damn near broke down when I saw that. It was just, oh my goodness. Nevertheless, the cameras are easy to take out. Just use a water arrow, which apparently are powered by candles. I'm just thinking to myself, how do those freaking work? But yeah. Anyway, that's the Bank Heist DLC. I mean, it's challenging in its own right, but again, it's a yeah, it's a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, Thief as a game, and looking at the story of it as well. Um, it really, when it really comes down to it, I'm not sure if I should recommend it. I mean, I'm not a big Thief fan. This is my first experience playing a Thief game in general, and if it sounds like I'm disrespecting the Thief franchise in some way, I'm sorry. But again, this is my first time playing a Thief game. This is my first experience in it, and I gotta say, it's kind of lukewarm. I mean, I'm not really. It's kind of like Lester in a way. It's kind of like a watered down Dishonored. I shouldn't compare this game to Dishonored a lot, but that's kind of what it is, really. It's watered down Dishonored, where you can have combat builds in this game, in a stealth game. You shouldn't have that kind of stuff in a. Okay. Um. Anyway, yeah, as a stealth game, that's with a series that's typically devoted to stealth. For me, that's just odd in and of itself. Um, but yeah, it's you do get various trick arrows in the game, like the I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. There's the water arrow, there's the fire arrow, there's the blast arrow, there's the broadtooth arrow, the broad head arrow, the sawtooth arrow, which is basically just a broadhead arrow that does more damage, blunt arrows, all that stuff, and yeah, yeah, and you also have the light gem, which also shows you whether or not you're in the shadows or not. Okay, that's great. um, but yeah, story wise, it's kind of confusing. For me it is. It did have something to do with the primal stone um, being essential to saving the city, and Aaron was involved somehow. Like maybe she was like this avatar of the primal stone. I don't know. But yeah, that's just my review on it. This is all my take on it. Leave a comment below if you think if you see something better in this game than I do. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the review, and if not, just go ahead and leave a dislike. It's okay. It's fine to me. Like I said, this is open to discussion. This isn't like the opinion. You know, this is just my opinion. I'm not going to affect your opinion whatsoever. It's just that if you find something different in the game that you enjoyed, that's great. I'm not going to harp on you for that, but for me, um, I didn't. I mean, by the end of the game, I was just like, oh, God, I just wanted to finish it. I didn't really care about the stealth at all. Oh, by the way, there are bosses in this game. Yeah, can you believe that? Um, you have one boss, which is the Thief Taker General, where you can try and um, kill him if you want, or you can just go ahead and leave the room and just leave him to his own devices or whatever. I don't know. I haven't done it. I tried to escape, but I couldn't, so I just said, screw it. I'm just gonna kill the bastard. I, there's no morality system in this game, so why not? Why would I care about preserving life if just killing someone? That made me sound like a sadist. I'm real sorry, but why would I just care about working my way through a damn near difficult lockpick? Which that's another thing you can do. You can pick locks easier and all that stuff. But yeah, that's my review of the game. Um, Tell me what you feel about the game. If you like it, great. If not, you know, it's not my place to judge. Okay, well, I'll come back later with another video break later on down the line. You guys, thank you for watching. Yeah, have a great night or a great day wherever you are in the world.